A battle replay from Sir Groot. Sipa. Get to see some different stuff. Some Night Goblins used, not just the Fanatics. We get the Warlords boys. Those are the Night Goblin RR that's not Fanatics. I believe they're armor sundering. And I think that's the only thing really special about them. The Greenskin army, other than that, is interesting, but not like groundbreaking. Morgan's Benji Marauders, 2 Savage Orc RR boys are pretty good. Not super meta, they're not in every single game, but they're pretty good. Fists of Gork, Brain Burster, and effigy to get on Wurzag is quite typical. Mostly Goblin frontline with Squigs and River Troll Hags backing up. Then we have some Broken Tusk Mob and 4 Savage Orc Boar Boys. So that's neat. The Warlords boys do in fact give armor sundering, and I think that's about it. On the other side, though, a little bit more of a spicy Dark Elf build. We have a Deathcaster on her Dark Pegasus. Not a bad caster, per se. Just used to, when you're playing Dark Elves, seeing either Malice or a Dragon Lord with Soul Stealer, whether it's Malekith or whether it's the Sorceress. So Deathcaster, pretty good against Greenskins. Going to just Spirit Leech snipe out Wurzag over time. Elsewhere, we have the Raven's Heralds. They're risky, but can be very good pick versus the Greenskins. If the Greenskins bring literally no archers, the Raven's Heralds can get 3 times their value for free, because the Greenskins have no flying melee units of any kind. Front line of 2 Blackguard Nagrond, the Hellebroni, triple Dark Shard, a single Witch Elf for some Rampage, 2 Dark Riders, a bunch of Dread Spears, and a Charybdis, which can be a good tech piece against the Greenskins, once again with its -8 leadership aura. If you can complete the Lord Snipe on Wurzag, which when you have a Deathcaster and the Raven's Herald, making me think that's what you're going for. If you snipe out Wurzag, you can just tear out the rest of the army with the Charybdis. But spinning loons going through the Blackguard and then through their own goblins, decimating those foes and pushing them off very quickly. But still did good damage to the Blackguard, but unfortunate spin trajectory after that. The Charybdis in the center, with the help of the Dark Shards, did push off the Swamp Things, already doing a lot of damage to them. But the Raven's Heralds are flying directly in front of 3 Archer units trying to get to Wurzag. We'll see if that ends up being worth it for them. And the Pig Cav is getting involved. I'm sure they're very upset that there's not a lot of cavalry for them to fight. Any form of Pig Cav is generally not that good at clearing out mass amounts of infantry. Even archers, they just don't do that much damage. Oh, but we have the Dirkit Swighoppers. They must have been in the Vanguard slightly and I didn't see them. They'll do good against the Dark Shards, and they do get in here and start causing a ruckus. Brain Burst out from Wurzag to give his whole army the buffs. Currently, the balance of power is slightly Greenskin favored, but tends to be that way at the start. Greenskin frontline is not doing well. The Dark Elves have won that. They even have Witch Elves and Dark Riders running up to deal with Savage Orc RR Boys, though Savage Orc RR Boys have high enough melee stats that they can push back the Dark Riders even in melee. Backline, Greenskins are trying to get involved, but there's a lot of spears that were in that original box formation waiting to push them off, and the Charybdis is trying to get rid of the Dirkit Swighoppers. Those guys are immune to psychology, so they won't tear her out, but still. Nice spinning loons goes straight through the Dark Elf lines, doing a little bit of damage to these already battered forces. So far, the spinning loons have been a mixed bag, but overall positive. These Fanatics have 1 use left of theirs, and I think their HP isn't low enough yet that they should be able to get it off. Quick Brain Burst on these Blackguard and other forces gets some of them routing. Meanwhile, we can see the Broken Tusk Mob just died entirely to this Dread Spear, who probably has pretty good value. Yeah, 300. Not as much as I thought. Okay. How's Wurzag Snipe going? Pretty good. Not as fast as Dark Elves would like it. Raven's Heralds are pretty far away, so when they fire, it's easy to dodge their shots. And the Spirit Leech is slowly whittling them down. But they are getting rid of the Greenskin leadership, which is good. Charybdis is still very healthy. He's not going to have a lot of support in the late game, though. We have 2 healthy Dread Spears, a decently healthy Blackguard. Meanwhile, Morgo's Mage and Marauders still have a lot of ammo. Savage Orc RR Boys have a lot of ammo, though not a lot of HP. And, ooh, that's nasty. Effigy to get on the Supreme Sorceress, who tried to dive onto Wurzag, but now she's netted in front of Orc Boar Boy Biggins. Then she scuttles on out of there at shockingly high speed, even on the ground. Okay, that felt a little weird, but alright, it happens. Another Spirit Leech onto Wurzag. Raven's Herald still tracking him, but they are getting shot by Morgan's Mage and Marauders this whole time. How are things going elsewhere? Dirkit Swighoppers back in, and they are back out, just like that. The Dark Elves grouping up the last of their infantry in that faraway blob. And this Charybdis looks like he's trying to bail out the Blackguard, though it's not going to go his way. Armor sundering from the Warlords boys on the flank charge, giving them a bit of guff. And Goblins get a Fist of Gork, just for better stats, but it's, you know, giving the whole army stats, so Wurzag's just panic spamming spells before the next Spirit Leech takes him out once and for all. Raven's Heralds are routing for now. They should be fine to come back in a second. Sorceress of Death is flying straight over Skirmish Cav, which can be risky, but she really wanted to get another Spirit Leech onto Warzag. And that should kill him off. 350 HP with 8 seconds left on it. It should kill him. 3 ticks left. 2 ticks left. There we go. If the Spirit Leech didn't kill him, it looked like there was a volley from the Raven's Herald that we're going to take him out. Greenskins lose their leadership, and we're going to start to see a mass rout coming in. The Warlords boys barely clinging to their leadership for now. The Charybdis is under attack as Morgoth's Major Marauders end up in melee with it. But I expect a mass terror rout to come in soon here. Morgoth's Major Marauders actually get away before the terror rout. But yeah, can the Greenskins without leadership finish off the Dark Elves without infantry? Because the Dark Elves are down to just the Raven's Heralds, the Supreme Sorceress who's almost dead, the Charybdis that's almost dead, and all of their infantry has taken such a beating. But man, the routing, you know how you route 3 times and then you shatter, that's going to be the hardest thing for the Greenskins, because they could go back and forth all day. Once they run out of routes, it's going to be it. Broken Tusk Mob, getting Spirit Leech, just trying to drain them down, take them out. They do have an Encourage aura, which gives that little leadership buff. So once again, the Dark Elves' only way to win this game is just to leadership bomb their opponents out of competition. I'm kind of surprised the Charybdis is letting Savage Orc Arboy shoot at it this whole time. You think he would be beelining it for the archers and daring melee units to come fight him while he does so, rather than let them shoot. It looks like their Dark Elves are prioritizing regrouping, getting everybody back together, but I don't know. I think you gotta shut down the archers who are firing at your Charybdis. Because you want the Greenskins to pile into you in melee at this point and abuse their low leadership. You don't really want to let them feed stuff in one by one while you shoot with the archers the whole time. We're just pinging down this Charybdis slowly but surely. Another Spirit Leech on the Savage Orc Arboys, immediately routing off on the Charybdis charge. And he's still getting shot. 35% missile resist, doing some work. 60 armor's not a lot, though. Morgoth's Major Marauder is going to get charged. Charybdis nearby will also take their leadership down, so they'll back off. Everybody here routing, and even the Morgrobes have shattered while they still had some ammo left. That is a big win for the Dark Elves, who are way down to the balance of power at this point. And I do definitely agree. This is their whole army, and none of it's looking too hot. Charybdis, -1 leadership for a second. The charge gives it a little bit of a boon, but then he routs, which is a disaster for the Dark Elves. Unless they can get him back, that's their big terror piece, but he's just been picked apart by these archers. Raven's Herald's trying to fire. They're not going to have the DPS, especially at only, what are you at, 9 models of 24? Yeah, that's not great. Savage Orc Arboys firing back onto them, taking big chunks out of the Raven's Herald, while the other Savage Orc Arboys try and keep poking down the Charybdis, make sure it continues to run. Blackguard and Dread Spears are pushing through these Night Goblin fanatics, though. Squig's trying to rally on the backfield, but with only 4 leadership, I imagine these routing goblins, there we go. The routing goblins, once they got near enough to them, the nearby friends routing debuff would just took them out. The world's bravest goblins are chasing down a Charybdis with 8 leadership. I think they'll terror out, but for now they're hanging in there. Another Spirit Leech onto the Savage Orc Arboys who are being chased by Blackguard and Dread Spears. Pegasus Caster trying to land on these guys, get them to rout. -1 leadership pops up to 19. I wonder if they take the melee fight with her. Doesn't look like it. They're just going to try and fire at point blank range. World's bravest goblins still being brave as they chase the Charybdis off the battlefield. Balance of power swinging right back towards the middle as one of the Savage Orc Arboys routes, and then the Dread Spears are chasing down another one. What do the Greenskins even have left? So for both sides, the Greenskins have a routing Goblin with a lot of leadership and a lot of HP, a routing Savage Orc Arboy with a lot of ammunition, not a lot of HP. They have an almost dead, almost routed Fanatic who's rallied. They have an almost dead, almost routed Savage Orc Arboy, and a 1/3 health, almost routed Goblin. For the Dark Elves, they have an almost dead Blackguard, almost dead Dreadspear, almost dead Deathcaster, and a Charybdis that they really want to get back. And I guess it's been confirmed at this point, but I always find it weird that routing units can continue routing other units. Like, this Goblin is only not rallying because there's a Charybdis nearby, but, like, it's also routing, so why do you care? The Greenskins really want to get this Goblin back. At this, like, super late stage of the game, an infantry unit with that much health, even if it's a Goblin, could do some serious damage. And the Dark Elves want the Charybdis back, though. At this point, it doesn't look like they're going to get that even if they wanted it. It's still negative 12 leadership even when it's not being pursued. Savage Orc Aura Boys are going to get caught by that Pegasus caster, and they rout. The Warlord's Boys are shattered. In the far distance, we have the Night Goblin Fanatic from before. It looks like he's trying to track down that Dread Spear in case it comes back. It'll lead to a rather lengthy end game. Times 2 speed for a bit. The Healthy Goblin is back, and the Greenskin balance of power spikes up a bit. Savage Orc Aura Boys in the distance trying to get over here and fire some shots. Looks like they're going to prioritize the Black Guard, which is smart. And then a Fate of Buna. I think a Spirit Leech would have sufficed. Jesus Christ. Okay, Fate of Buna on that Savage Orc Aura Boy to get rid of him. Okay, either just Spirit Leech that one, or if you're insisting on using a Fate of Buna, maybe Fate of Buna this half-health Goblin? I don't know. That seemed aggressive. And a Spirit Leech. Okay, so it looks like the Dark Elves had enough Winds of Magic for both, and they decided that they don't have time to wait on cooldowns, that this game's going to end one way or the other. Spirit Leech onto the Goblins, who will try and hold, charging into the Dread Spears. And it's a desperate fight. Goblins' leadership holding for now. They're doing good damage to them Dread Spears as the other Goblins come in for a wrap to get that rear charge. Savage Orc Aura Boys are back. Bounce power's getting a little bit better for the Greenskins, but a rear charge in from the Dark Elf Sorceress should take the Goblins out. Should. But man, they did so much damage in the time that they were here. Goblins rout and shatter. Dread Spears also rout, and the Blackguard are holding for now, but with only 300 HP. They're getting whittled down. Can the Dark Elf Sorceress get rid of these Goblins and save the Blackguard? Doesn't even matter. Since they're so low, it's not like they provide Guardian or anything. And the Blackguard have routed. So the Dark Elves have lost everything besides their caster at this point. Savage Orc Aura Boys are back in the distance trying to fire in. Goblins chasing down those guys. Probably not going to let them come back. Supreme Sorceress of Death needs to dodge some of these arrows. And she goes into landing to dodge most of the volley. That was a nice play. And if she routs these guys, I think they shatter at this point. Let's see. Good charge. Negative 3 leadership, up to 9. There, they shattered off. But so did the Blackguard. The Blackguard have shattered. The Dread Spears are still routing. For the Greenskins, they only have this Goblin and the Night Goblin Fanatic with 2 leadership in the distance. Deathcaster's coming back. I think that Fate of Buna's coming back to haunt them, though. Because if I don't see a Spirit Leech, then I have to think that, like, 3 Spirit Leeches would have been more worth it than a Fate of Buna and a Spirit Leech on that already dead Savage Orc Aura Boy. She has to dive into the Goblins to buy the Dread Spears some time to return. They do have positive leadership. They don't see the stalking unit, but for some reason they still don't rally, and I don't think it would have mattered as the Dark Elf Sorceress routed anyway. Been a very close, a very good game. Some different stuff. Not a Soul Stealer Dragon Lord. I like that quote. That's a good quote. A shameful display, blood for the Blood God. A shameful display! Shogun 2. Good game. Good game. Anyway, speaking of good games, the Greenskin Cavalry, outside of the Skirmish Cav, did not get a lot of value. They just didn't have anything to fight, but the Skirmish Cav and both the Archers did fantastically value-wise. Goblin Fanatics did amazing work. 1,200 and 1,300 for those guys, so the Spinning Loons did nicely. Squigs and Goblins did fine. Warzag did fine. Inside for Sipa. Deathcaster did good. Charybdis did good. Blackguard did fine. Raven's Herald honestly did okay, despite being shot at all game. Dark Shards mixed, but overall not great. Dread Spears did well. Dark Riders mixed. GG. Roar.
Subscribe, yes, yes.